Greetings, salutations, and welcome to a special community news announcement video. Now, just to clarify, this isn't actually our end of the year, year in review video. That won't be coming out for at least another couple weeks here. But I wanted to go ahead and announce something because it's honestly just pretty exciting. And that's the fact that for the first time in over a decade, the Morrowind Modding Community has released over 1,000 new mods in 2019. Actually, about 1,025 as of December 29th, which I don't need to tell you is just quite a bit of new content for this old game. We haven't seen this many new mods for Morrowind really since the days of 2007 and 2008, and it really is just a staggering number. It's a good bit more than the 740 mods released in 2018, and nearly 3 times the number of mods released in 2014. Way back when we first started the Morrowind Modding Showcases channel. Back then, there were only about 350 mods released in all 2014, the absolute worst year on record, and what was, at the time, a declining community. But there can be absolutely just no doubt now that the Morrowind Modding community is in the midst of a new golden age. Not in over a decade have we seen so many new mods, and I would argue this community has never seen so many quality mods. As indeed, the average quality of the community's content is just considerably better than the stuff released back in 2007 and 2008. And not only did the community release over 1,000 new mods in 2019, but also we had nearly 360 modders upload mods in 2019, an increase of over 50 contributing modders over last year's tally, making just for quite a bit of a new growth, and not just in terms of new mods, but also in terms of new modders and returning modders to the community. And you can actually just, see all this for yourself of our Google spreadsheets, where we've been keeping track of monthly mod releases and total individual modders since about 2016, and you can clearly see that the community has been growing at a fairly steady pace since the low point of 2014, but community growth has really just skyrocketed in just the last 2 years here, resulting in more mods and more contributing modders. And I should be quick to point out that our 360 contributing modders estimate only counts modders who, actually released a mod in 2019. It doesn't track modders for the province mod teams, or modders who are working on, mods that just haven't released yet, like Drac and Dakota's Morrowind Crafting 3.0, or even modders who released an update in 2019, but didn't actually release a new mod. If you count all those, the community likely has between 500 and 550 active modders right now, which is honestly just pretty amazing for a nearly 18-year-old game like Morrowind. And I don't think there's any other, games as old as Morrowind that have such an active modding community, except, maybe Age of Empires 2, but that's sort of a different thing, really. I mean, that's been re-released twice in the last decade. And I'm honestly I'm not sure how we're going to beat this record in 2020. I mean, so much about 2019 was just insane in terms of growth. We had over 240 mods submitted for last year's marathon, and I have no idea how we're going to top that, but as we go into 2020, all I can say is that the future looks very bright indeed, and I can't wait to see what happens in the next year. And on that positive note, I do have some perhaps more sobering news that I do just need to, get out of the way here. Going into 2020, we're going to be doing some structural, changes to the YouTube channel. Namely, we're going to be having more people hosting and narrating content for Morrowind Modding Showcases. Most of this will be regulated to minor videos like the marathon videos that we're, still trying to finish, and possibly other video series like Morrowind Modding Manas or Morrowind's Abandoned Mod Projects or, things of that nature. The reason for this should be pretty obvious from the lack of content this last year. I've been struggling for a while now to keep up with audio narrations, largely due to depression. This last year hasn't been particularly great for me from a mental health perspective, and given the frequent negative and personal attacks directed at me in 2019, it's just taken me a while to get through that depressive fog. And because I was unable to focus on just, providing content throughout much of the year, we're now dangerously far behind schedule, and I need to focus on our core video series, namely Morrowind Modding Showcases and the Morrowind Mod of the Month, which is now a year behind. So I will continue to be hosting those videos in particular, along with our annual Top 10 video, but you will be seeing an increasing amount of content hosted by other members of the community, and this will likely become a permanent feature of the channel. After all, my plans were to always make this a more community-focused channel to begin with, and, with more hosts, we'll be able to just provide more content for everyone, and you'll start seeing that content here within the next week or so. But anyway, that's pretty much everything that I wanted to cover here. And of course, we will still have our, year in review video in a few weeks, so until then, thanks for watching, Happy New Year, and I'll see you all next time.